Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that for a moment. How many times have you found yourself trapped in a mental maze, over-analyzing every little detail, replaying past conversations, or worrying about endless what-ifs? Overthinking can feel like carrying an invisible weight, draining your energy and clouding your clarity. But what if I told you there's a way out? A way to break free from this exhausting cycle of mental chaos and reclaim your peace of mind. In this video, we're diving deep into 10 timeless Stoic lessons that will help you overcome overthinking once and for all. These strategies, inspired by the wisdom of ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, are practical, transformative, and designed to help you regain control over your thoughts. If you're ready to silence the noise, find clarity, and live with purpose, then this is the perfect place to start. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Philosophical Community and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to grow stronger and wiser with us. Now, let's take the first step together towards a calmer, more focused mind. 1. Quiet the storm within. Overthinking often sneaks into your mind like an unexpected storm on an otherwise sunny day. It starts smaller, single worry, a nagging thought, but soon spirals into a flood of endless what-ifs, what-nexts, and what could-have-beens. In today's fast-paced world, where notifications, deadlines, and expectations bombard us at every turn, it's easy to feel like your mind is stuck in overdrive. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But when your thoughts feel like a chaotic whirlwind, how do you regain control? One powerful way is to visualize overthinking as something external, separate from who you are. This doesn't mean seeing your thoughts as enemies, but understanding that they don't define you. Think of them as uninvited guests barging into your peaceful home. They may make noise, but you have the power to decide whether they stay or go. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic after a long day at work. Your mind begins to race, replaying a conversation with your boss, worrying about tomorrow's meeting, or questioning if you locked the front door. The thoughts pile up, one after another, until you feel overwhelmed. What if, instead of wrestling with these thoughts, you simply observed them? Picture them as clouds drifting across the sky. You are not the clouds. You are the mountain beneath them, strong, steady, and unaffected by their passing. The clouds may linger, but they will move on, and the mountain remains unshaken. This simple shift in perspective can be transformative. When you view your thoughts as temporary and external, you take away their power to control you. Stoicism teaches us to observe without attachment. When overthinking strikes, try this. Visualize each thought as a bubble. See it rise, float, and then gently drift away. This exercise isn't about suppressing your thoughts, but about creating space between you and them. By doing this regularly, you train your mind to let go of thoughts that no longer serve you. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, like a reflex. You'll start to notice that the thoughts which once consumed you now pass by like background noise, no longer disrupting your inner calm. Think about it though. Often do you let fleeting worries steal your peace? What if instead you paused and asked yourself, does this thought truly deserve my energy? This simple question can be a game changer. By separating yourself from your thoughts, you reclaim your mental space and create a shield against the noise of overthinking. It's like putting on noise-canceling headphones in a crowded room. You can still hear the chatter, but it no longer overwhelms you. The lesson here is clear. You are not your thoughts. They are fleeting, temporary, and only gain power if you let them. By practicing detachment and visualization, you can quiet the storm of overthinking and restore your inner peace. The next time your mind begins to spiral, remember that you are the mountain majestic, unshaken, and far greater than the clouds that pass by. 2. Refocus your energy. Reclaim your peace. Have you ever felt like your mind is running in circles, replaying the same worries over and over again, leaving you drained and frustrated? It's like having dozens of browser tabs open at the same time, each one screaming for your attention, and no way to hit pause. This endless mental noise can feel overwhelming, especially in today's fast-paced world where we're constantly bombarded with information, deadlines, and expectations. Overthinking has become a common trap, pulling us into a cycle of what-ifs and what could be, while stealing our ability to fully experience the present. But here's the truth. Your mental energy is a precious resource, and you have the power to take control of it. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This powerful insight reminds us that the key to peace lies in redirecting our energy toward the here and now. Think about how clutter affects your life. When your desk is messy, it's hard to focus or find what you need, right? The same goes for your mind. A cluttered mind filled with endless worries and hypothetical scenarios makes it nearly impossible to think clearly or move forward. The solution is to tidy up, not by ignoring your thoughts, but by intentionally choosing where to direct your attention. Start small. Pick one task, even something as simple as organizing your workspace or taking a short walk, and commit to it fully. When you focus on a single action, your mind naturally begins to quiet down, and the overwhelming noise of overthinking fades into the background. It's not about distraction, it's about taking charge of where your energy flows. For example, consider how athletes perform under pressure. They don't waste time worrying about the outcome of the game. They channel their focus into the moment, each pass, each step, each breath. What if you approached your daily life with that same level of presence and intention? Ask yourself this: how often do you let your thoughts pull you away from what truly matters? How much time do you spend worrying about things you can't control instead of appreciating what's right in front of you? By grounding yourself in the present, you reclaim your power. Engage in activities that demand your full attention, whether it's reading a book, cooking a meal, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. These small actions help you build the habit of refocusing, and over time, they strengthen your ability to manage your thoughts. Think of it as mental training, just like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger and more resilient your mind becomes. The goal isn't to eliminate overthinking entirely. That's impossible. Instead, it's about recognizing when your thoughts no longer serve you and gently redirecting them to something more productive. Over time, you'll find that the waves of overthinking, once so overwhelming, become manageable ripples. By learning to refocus your energy, you're not just silencing the noise, you're reclaiming your peace, one moment at a time. So, what's one small action you can take today to redirect your energy and embrace the present? The answer is yours to discover. 3. Letting go. The power of impermanence. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a loop of thoughts, replaying past mistakes or worrying endlessly about what's ahead? It's like your mind becomes a broken record, spinning the same tune over and over, leaving you mentally drained. This is the trap of overthinking, universal struggle that spares no one. Whether you're a student stressing over exams, a professional preparing for a big presentation, or simply someone lying awake at night with your mind racing, the weight of these thoughts can feel unbearable. But here's the truth. The thoughts that seem so permanent are anything but. Change is constant, and as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, he who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. While this might sound intense, it's rooted in a liberating idea: impermanence. Everything, including the thoughts that consume you, is temporary. Think about how often do you hold on to a thought as if it defines you. Overthinking thrives on this attachment, convincing you that these mental loops are immovable. But when you embrace the idea that thoughts are fleeting, you begin to see them for what they truly are: passing moments like leaves floating down a river. Imagine standing by that river, watching each thought drift away on the current. You don't need to chase them or hold on to them, you simply let them go. Or picture clouds in the sky, constantly shifting, reshaping, and eventually disappearing. These visualizations aren't just calming, they're powerful reminders that your thoughts don't have to control you. They come and go, and you get to decide whether to give them power or let them pass. In modern life, this practice of letting go can be transformative. Take the example of a busy professional who's just been criticized at work. Instead of replaying the moment endlessly, they pause, acknowledge the thought, and let it drift away like a cloud. By doing so, they reclaim their focus and energy for what matters most. What about you? How often do you let unhelpful thoughts take up space in your mind, rent-free? What would happen if you simply allowed them to leave instead of clinging to them? Letting go isn't about giving up or ignoring your thoughts, it's about courageously choosing not to let them define you. It's about creating mental space for clarity and peace. Over time, practicing impermanence becomes like mental decluttering. It's not about forcing your thoughts to disappear, but about allowing them to leave naturally, without resistance. As you grow more skilled at this, you'll discover a quiet stillness beneath the noisier sense of calm that has always been there, waiting for you to notice. This isn't just a strategy for managing overthinking, it's a way of living more fully in the present moment. When you embrace impermanence, you free yourself from the chains of overthinking and step into a life of greater peace and clarity. So, what thoughts are you ready to let go of today? The choice is yours. 4. Take control with the worry period. Worries have a way of creeping into our minds at the most inconvenient times, like a low but persistent background noise that never quite fades away. They distract us when we're trying to focus on work, interrupt moments of joy with loved ones, and even keep us awake at night. It can feel as though your mind is a stage, and these worries are stubborn actors refusing to leave the spotlight. But what if you could take control of this mental chaos by giving your worries a specific time and place to perform? This is where the concept of a worry period comes in, a simple yet powerful strategy to manage your concerns without letting them take over your day. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. While this might sound unrelated, it's a profound reminder to prioritize your inner peace over the fear of looking weak or overly simplistic. After all, managing your mental well-being is far more valuable than constantly battling to appear in control. Here's how a worry period works. Set aside a specific block of time each day, perhaps 20 minutes in the afternoon, dedicated solely to addressing your worries. During this time, allow yourself to focus entirely on your concerns. Write them down, analyze them, and ask yourself a few key questions. What exactly am I worried about? How likely is this scenario to happen? What actions can I take to address it? This practice often reveals that many of our worries are exaggerated or based on assumptions, much like shadows that appear larger than they really are. By facing your concerns directly, you strip them of their power and see them for what they truly are: manageable and often less daunting than they initially seemed. To put this into perspective, think about a busy professional juggling deadlines and constant emails. They find themselves worrying all day about a missed deadline, a difficult conversation, or even personal finances. Instead of letting these worries consume their thoughts, they commit to a worry period. During those 20 minutes, they write down each concern, assess its importance, and decide on actionable steps. Once the time's up, they set the worries aside and shift their focus back to the present. This deliberate act of containment not only creates mental clarity, but also frees up energy for productive and meaningful activities. What about you? How often do you let worries dominate your entire day? What would happen if you gave them a designated space instead of allowing them to roam freely? The goal of a worry period isn't to eliminate worry altogether. That's impossible. Instead, it's about creating boundaries, giving your concerns the attention they need without letting them take over your life. It's like tidying up a messy room. When everything is in its place, you feel calmer and more in control. Over time, this practice trains your mind to recognize that there's a proper time and place for worry, and it doesn't have to follow you everywhere. When you confine your worries to their designated space, they lose their grip on you. You'll likely find that life feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your energy more focused on what truly matters. So, what's stopping you from giving your worries a time limit? By practicing this simple technique, you can reclaim your peace and take back control of your day. 5. Turn overthinking into action. When overthinking takes hold, it can feel like you're carrying a massive boulder on your shoulders, a weight so heavy it leaves you paralyzed. Your worries grow larger with every passing moment, creating a dense fog of indecision and fear. This isn't just your struggle, it's a universal experience, especially in today's world where we're constantly expected to excel in every area of life work, relationships, personal growth, and even social appearances. The pressure to succeed in all these areas can leave anyone feeling stuck, unsure of where to even begin. But as Marcus Aurelius once said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This timeless wisdom reminds us that the very challenges we face can guide us forward, and the key is to break overwhelming thoughts into small, actionable steps. Think about a time when you were overwhelmed by a big problem. Maybe it was a looming work deadline, a major life decision, or even something as simple as organizing your home. The sheer size of the task likely left you frozen, unsure of how to proceed. But what if, instead of focusing on the entire mountain, you simply asked yourself, what's the next step I can take? Not the next 5 steps, not the entire solution, just the very next thing you can do. This shift in perspective is powerful. By focusing on one small action, you pull yourself out of the spiral of overthinking and into a mindset of doing. It's like trying to untangle a giant knot. When you focus on just one small section at a time, the knot slowly loosens and progress becomes possible. Consider this: a college student facing the overwhelming task of writing a thesis feels stuck, unable to even start. Instead of worrying about the entire paper, they decide to take one small step, writing just the introduction. That single action builds momentum, and soon they're tackling the next section, and then the next. Before they know it, the thesis that once seemed impossible is complete. What about you? What's one overwhelming problem in your life right now? And what small actionable step can you take to begin untangling it? Often, the act of starting, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect, leading to clarity and progress. This approach is simple but incredibly effective. Each small step builds confidence and momentum, transforming that massive boulder of worry into a manageable pile of pebbles. You're not ignoring the complexity of your challenges. You're addressing them in a way that feels achievable and sustainable. Over time, this method fosters patience, resilience, and a deeper belief in your ability to face life's difficulties head-on. The beauty of breaking problems into actionable steps is that it replaces the paralysis of overthinking with a sense of clarity and accomplishment. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's the very next thing I can do? You'll find that even the smallest action can set you on the path to overcoming what once felt impossible. 6. Shift overthinking with gratitude. Our minds have a way of pulling us into endless loops of overthinking, constantly replaying what we don't have, what might go wrong, or what we've failed to achieve. It's like being stuck in a mental maze, exhausting yourself as you chase solutions that never seem to come. Overthinking thrives on this fixation with negatives, blinding us to the good that already exists in our lives. As Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. These words remind us that happiness isn't found in what we lack or fear, but in appreciating the present moment. Gratitude is the bridge that helps us move from a mindset of scarcity and worry to one of abundance and peace, allowing us to break free from the mental traps of overthinking and reconnect with what truly matters. Think about how often overthinking robs you of joy. Maybe you've been caught up worrying about a project at work, replaying every possible way it could fail. Or perhaps you've scrolled through social media, comparing your life to others and feeling like you're falling short. These moments of rumination can feel all-consuming, but gratitude offers a simple and transformative way out. Start small each day. Identify 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big or dramatic. It could be something as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of your favorite meal, or a kind word from a friend. By focusing on these small blessings, you shift your attention away from what's missing and toward what's already present. This practice grounds you in the here and now, the only place where life truly happens. Consider this. A young professional, overwhelmed by the pressures of a demanding job, starts a daily gratitude journal. At first, it's hard to find things to be thankful for amidst the stress, but they stick with it. Over time, they begin to notice the little things: a supportive coworker, a quiet moment with their morning coffee, or even the satisfaction of crossing one task off their to-do list. Slowly but surely, their perspective shifts. Instead of dreading challenges, they start seeing them as opportunities to grow and appreciate the support around them. What about you? What are 3 things you're grateful for right now? How would your day change if you focused on those instead of your worries? Gratitude isn't just about fleeting moments of happiness. It's a mindset that transforms how you experience life. It helps you see obstacles not as insurmountable burdens, but as opportunities to lean into the good that's already present. Over time, this shift builds resilience, allowing you to face life's ups and downs with a sense of calm and contentment. When you consistently practice gratitude, you rewrite your internal narrative. Instead of being stuck in a cycle of overthinking and scarcity, you begin to embrace abundance and peace. Gratitude isn't just a tool for feeling better in the moment. It's the foundation for a life filled with deeper joy and meaning. So, what's stopping you from starting today? What small blessings can you celebrate right now? The answers might just surprise you. 7. Focus on effort, not outcome. Overthinking often traps us in a cycle of worrying about the future, its uncertainties, its what-ifs, and the endless possibilities of failure or disappointment. We become so fixated on the outcome that fear paralyzes us, leaving us obsessing over what could go wrong rather than focusing on what we can do right now. In a world that constantly glorifies results, where success is measured by outcomes rather than the journey, it's easy to feel like our efforts are meaningless unless they lead to a perfect end. But as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. This wisdom urges us to shift our focus from obsessing over results to living with purpose and integrity in our actions. It's not about abandoning your goals or aspirations, but about recognizing that the true value lies in the effort you put in, the intentions you set, and the way you show up every day. Think of a time when you worked tirelessly on something, perhaps a project at work, a fitness goal, or even a personal relationship. Maybe the outcome wasn't what you hoped for: a promotion you didn't get, a race you didn't win, or a misunderstanding that wasn't resolved. It's easy to feel defeated in those moments, but pause and ask yourself, did I give my best? Were my actions aligned with my values? Did I act with honesty and integrity? When you shift your focus to the effort you made rather than the result, you begin to see the process itself as meaningful. Take, for example, a young entrepreneur who pours their heart into starting a business. Even if the business doesn't succeed, the lessons learned, the skills gained, and the courage it took to try are invaluable. What about you? How often do you let fear of failure stop you from giving your best? What would happen if you focused on doing the work instead of worrying about the outcome? When you embrace this mindset, you free yourself from the mental weight of what could be and anchor yourself in the present moment. By focusing on effort, you allow yourself to immerse fully in the process, knowing that your responsibility ends with the quality of your actions. This shift transforms your journey into a reflection of your character and commitment, making each step along the way meaningful in its own right. Life is no longer just a series of achievements or failures. It becomes a path of growth, resilience, and purpose. The journey itself becomes the reward, and the outcomes, whether they align with your hopes or not, are simply byproducts of your dedication. By focusing on effort over outcome, you unlock a new perspective that empowers you to face challenges with grace and balance. It allows you to tap into hidden strengths, embrace uncertainty with courage, and find fulfillment in the act of trying. The next time overthinking threatens to derail you, remember that the only thing within your control is your effort. So, ask yourself, am I giving my best? Am I staying true to my values? When you can answer yes to these questions, you'll find that the journey itself holds all the meaning you need, regardless of where it leads. 8. The power of voluntary discomfort. Our minds often trick us into believing that discomfort is something to be avoided at all costs, trapping us in endless cycles of overthinking. We replay scenarios in our heads, trying to predict every possible outcome, preparing for every inconvenience, and in doing so, we create a mental prison for ourselves. The comfort zone, which feels safe and familiar, can become a place where growth is stifled and fear of the unknown takes over. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." This quote captures the essence of life's challenges. It's not about gracefully avoiding discomfort, but about facing it head-on with strength and intention. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort teaches us this lesson by encouraging us to step into uncertainty, not to punish ourselves, but to build resilience and quiet the overthinking mind. Think about how often you let the fear of discomfort hold you back. Maybe it's the hesitation to speak up in a meeting, the dread of starting a new fitness routine, or even avoiding a difficult conversation with a loved one. These moments of avoidance feel safe in the short term, but they also keep you stuck. Voluntary discomfort is about taking small, intentional steps to challenge yourself and prove that discomfort isn't as terrifying as your mind makes it out to be. Start small. Take a cold shower in the morning, skip your usual pillow when you sleep, or choose to walk instead of drive. These simple actions might seem insignificant, but they send a powerful message to your brain. I am capable of handling discomfort. Over time, these small acts of courage build a foundation of mental strength that helps you face larger challenges with confidence. Consider this. A young professional, nervous about public speaking, decides to practice voluntary discomfort by speaking up in small group settings. At first, their voice shakes and their palms sweat, but they keep going. With each attempt, the discomfort lessens, and what once felt impossible becomes manageable. Eventually, they're able to deliver a presentation to a larger audience without the same level of fear. What about you? What small step could you take today to challenge your comfort zone? How would your life change if you stopped avoiding discomfort and started embracing it instead? The beauty of this practice is that it transforms how you view challenges. By regularly stepping into discomfort, you train your mind to be less reactive and more adaptable. What once felt daunting becomes routine, and you begin to approach life's uncertainties with calm and clarity. This shift doesn't just quiet the overthinking mind, it cultivates a deep inner strength that remains steady no matter what life throws your way. The goal isn't to seek out suffering, but to remind yourself that you're stronger than you think. So, the next time you feel paralyzed by overthinking or fear of the unknown, ask yourself, what small step can I take today to embrace discomfort? The answer might just lead you to a life of greater resilience, growth, and peace. 9. Life's fleeting moments matter. Overthinking often traps us in a cycle of obsessing over small details, making minor problems feel like insurmountable obstacles. We get tangled in questions like, what if this happens? Or, what if it doesn't work out? And before we know it, we're lost in a storm of uncertainty, unable to see the bigger picture. This narrow focus magnifies our worries, draining our energy and stealing our ability to fully enjoy life. Seneca's timeless words remind us of what's truly at stake. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it. These words urge us to reflect on how much of our precious time is wasted on overthinking, on moments we could have spent truly living, appreciating, and being present. Think of a time when you were consumed by worry. Maybe you spent hours stressing over a mistake at work, replaying it in your mind, or agonizing over what someone might think of you. Now ask yourself, did that moment of overthinking change the outcome? Did it make the situation better, Or did it just steal your peace? Most of the things we overthink about are fleeting. They won't matter in the grand scheme of our lives. Picture a young parent worrying endlessly about whether they're doing enough for their child, only to realize later that their child remembers the love and laughter they shared, not the perfection of every decision. What about you? How often do you let overthinking rob you of the joy and beauty of the present moment? Is the time you're spending on these worries worth the limited time you have? Reflecting on life's transience gives us the clarity to prioritize what truly matters. When we step back and see life as a whole, we realize that many of the things we stress about are insignificant in the bigger picture. This isn't about ignoring challenges or becoming indifferent. It's about recognizing that life is fleeting and choosing to focus on what adds meaning and joy. Instead of letting overthinking dominate your mind, pause and ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Often, the answer is no, and that simple realization can help lighten the mental load. By embracing the idea that life is temporary, not as a source of fear but as a call to action, we can shift our focus to the present. This mindset doesn't just reduce overthinking, it deepens our appreciation for the here and now. It inspires us to savor everyday moments, to laugh more freely and to love more deeply. Life's fleeting nature isn't something to dread, it's a reminder to live vividly, to be intentional with our time, and to let go of the worries that weigh us down. So, the next time you find yourself caught in the web of overthinking, ask yourself, is this worth my limited time? The answer might just set you free to live a more meaningful and present life. 10. Wisdom beyond yourself. Our minds can often feel like a tangled maze, with every turn leading to more confusion and spiraling thoughts. Overthinking traps us in this endless cycle where every attempt to solve a problem seems to create more questions than answers. It's like being stuck in a mental loop, unable to see a clear way out. Seneca, known for his timeless wisdom, once said, "Consult your friend on everything, especially on matters concerning yourself." This simple yet profound advice reminds us that when our own thoughts cloud our judgment, seeking the perspective of others can be a powerful way to break free. Stoicism teaches us that wisdom doesn't exist solely within ourselves. It thrives in connection, in shared understanding, and in the insights we gain from others. When we step outside of our own minds and seek guidance, we disrupt the cycle of overthinking and open ourselves to clarity. Think about a time when you were stuck in your own head, replaying a problem over and over. Maybe you were trying to decide whether to take a big career leap or how to handle a difficult relationship. The more you thought about it, the more overwhelming it felt. Now, think about what happened when you finally shared your concerns with a trusted friend, mentor, or even a family member. As you spoke, you might have noticed that simply articulating your thoughts made them clearer. And when they offered their perspective, something you hadn't considered before, it likely shifted your understanding, giving you a way forward. This is the power of seeking wisdom beyond yourself. It's not about handing your problems over to someone else. It's about using the collective strength of human connection to see things in a new light. What about you? Who do you turn to when you feel stuck? How often do you allow yourself to lean on the wisdom of someone you trust? In today's fast-paced world, seeking wisdom might look different than it did in Seneca's time, but the principle remains the same. It could mean turning to a friend who knows you well, reaching out to a mentor whose judgment you respect, or even immersing yourself in the lessons of a great book or podcast. Sharing your thoughts with someone you trust serves two important purposes. It forces you to organize and clarify your own ideas, and it invites fresh, objective feedback that you might be blind to on your own. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to the strength of collaboration and the value of diverse perspectives. When you allow others to help illuminate your path, the challenges of life feel less overwhelming, not because they disappear, but because you're no longer carrying the burden alone. By practicing this approach, you can begin to loosen the grip of overthinking and reclaim a sense of mental clarity. You'll find that the act of sharing your struggles is not only freeing but also a reminder of how interconnected we are as human beings. Each conversation you have, each piece of advice you receive, becomes a stepping stone toward greater understanding and peace. So, the next time your thoughts feel like a maze, ask yourself, who can I turn to for wisdom? The answer might just lead you to a solution you never would have found on your own. Let the wisdom of others guide you, and you'll discover that life's challenges are much easier to face when you don't face them alone. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 10 powerful Stoic strategies to overcome overthinking. At the Stoic Philosophical Community, our goal is to help you cultivate a calmer, more resilient mind by applying timeless wisdom to modern life. Remember, overthinking doesn't define you, and with these practical tools, you can reclaim your mental clarity, focus on what truly matters, and live with greater purpose and intention. Which of these strategies resonated with you the most? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue exploring these ideas together. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more Stoic insights. Together, let's embrace the art of living wisely and meaningfully. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.